Ready to bring down the house, sugar?
Hey, what's up everybody? This is OurMusicBox, and as you guys just saw, we got the first teaser for DLC 1 for Borderlands 3, and this will be fully revealed on November 20th with the next Borderlands Show, which is pretty much a pre-recorded video that's streamed on Twitch and YouTube. If you guys want to check that out, there's also the times in this article we're going to be going over on the official Borderlands 3 website. Now, for the actual teaser itself, it's pretty clear the DLC is going to be pretty heavily focused on Hyperion, Handsome Jack. He's even on a statue riding Butt Stallion, so maybe Butt Stallion will be in this, which would be pretty cool. And then we hear Moxie in the teaser as well, so most likely Moxie's going to play a big part as well. And that's a pretty good way to kick off the DLCs for Borderlands 3. You know, adding two or more than two really beloved characters, possibly adding or being a big part, one of the best villains of the Borderlands series itself. Now, I do know a bunch of this stuff is tied to Tales from the Borderlands. I never played that game, so a lot of you guys have played it probably have a bit more insight into what this DLC could be from that. But even without having knowledge of that, a new Hyperion area with Handsome Jack, Moxie, possibly Butt Stallion, it's probably going to be good any way you look at it. So I wanted to go over the article they posted. Now, before that, they also did this hotfix yesterday. Well, technically today. It's a few hours into this day. But it's basically just a few bug fixes. The main thing about it is lower the chance of seeing haunted enemies outside of Heck, because it's going to keep decreasing as that goes. So there's that, but pretty much this is just a few hotfixes and stuff like that, nothing too major. So the actual post itself. Now, first off, before we get into this, we do see that they pretty much reconfirmed that this is coming out this year. So DLC 1 will be this year, which a lot of people, I've seen a ton of like big YouTubers talking about updates and stuff, all saying that they think the DLC 1 is going to come out next year, even though we got the roadmap before the game came out that showed it will be coming in 2019, and they are reconfirming it here that it will be coming in 2019 because they specifically say this year. And this Borderlands show will have Randy Pitchford on it, which he's probably not going to be, you know, telling us it's coming this year, this late in the year, and then it ends up coming out next year. So we could pretty much completely confirm and guarantee that it's going to be this year. And also, they don't talk about it in this, but one of the devs did talk about this in some article, some part of an interview that I can't find, but they talked about Mercenary Day, which I think is going to be talked about in this Borderlands show as well. Even though they don't say it, they say they will be talking about like other upcoming content. And Mercenary Day is, I know it's in one of the other Borderlands, but it's supposed to be like a winter kind of Christmassy themed event. So we don't know if that's going to be coming this year as well, or if it's going to be early next year because it's still the winter. So for this article, get ready for a glimpse of your next big adventure, Vault Hunter, on Wednesday, November 20th. The full reveal, which is also the day right before we get the Molly 1 takedown and the big November patch. So a lot of stuff going on with Borderlands, and especially since we're getting a DLC 1, which is the paid DLC, so it's going to be massive. This year as well, we're getting a lot of new content. Most likely these last few months are going to be just filled with new stuff for Borderlands. On November 20th, the full reveal trailer for DLC 1 will be making its debut at 8 a.m. PST. So you can convert this whatever time you have, or whatever time zone you live in, to see when it comes out if you want to see it right away. At the exact same time, the third episode of the Borderlands show will kick off to deliver more insight into Borderlands 3. So most likely that trailer will come out right before the show probably starts, because the streams usually start and then they have like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever before the video actually starts. The show will kick off to deliver more insight into Borderlands 3 first campaign DLC that's launching later this year. So again, later this year, this is what I was talking about. I don't think they would be putting stuff in this late in the year if it was pushed back to 2020. So 2019, we're getting the first DLC, which is pretty massive considering the game came out a couple months ago. That's pretty massive for a massive DLC to come out this early. The Borderlands Show regular hosts Greg Miller and Fran Mirabella from Kinda Funny will be joined by none other than the president, CEO, and co-founder of Gearbox Software, Randy Pitchford. Now, this is another reason I think that it's guaranteedly coming out this year. It's because it's Randy Pitchford being on the show. He's, the head of the company, basically. So they're not going to really be putting in, information that it's coming out this year, and then a couple days later be like, oh, it's not coming out this year. As I take a look at what's coming in DLC 1 and discuss other news in the wild world of Borderlands, make sure you don't miss the informative interview about the thrilling story, unique environments, and handsome new loot you can expect from the paid DLC. Handsome new loot, pretty clear it's going to be pretty heavily focused on Handsome Jack even more, which is really cool. Hopefully, I'm hoping we get a new quality of loot, so like other games have Pearlescence and stuff like that. I'm hoping that they add some other, rarity of loot. That's something else we can go for. Hopefully a new currency that's useful would definitely add a lot to the game. It's going to be a massive DLC. We know that the devs have already told us that pretty much every paid DLC in this game is going to be at minimum as big as any DLC in any other Borderlands game. So at minimum, they're going to be massive, and probably most of them are going to be bigger than the other DLCs from any other Borderlands game. The Borderlands Show Episode 3 will air on official Borderlands Twitch channel starting November 20th at 8 a.m. PST. See the list below for localized times if you aren't able to tune in. For the in-depth DLC 1 discussion as it's happening, you can catch up on the post-VOD on the official Borderlands YouTube channel. They usually, I think, stream this on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you can't watch it when it's streaming, there'll be a VOD on Twitch, and then they upload they basically upload the VOD to YouTube as well. So it's really easy to see if you can't be there live, which these are pre-recorded anyway, so you don't need to be there live unless you want to look at chat as the pre-recorded video is playing. Borderlands 3 Episode 3 starts November 20th, 8 a.m. PST, 11 a.m. EST, 4 p.m. GMT, November 21st, 12 a.m. CST, 2 a.m. AEST. So those are all your time zones. As a friendly reminder, all 4 of the upcoming DLC campaigns currently in development are included in the DLC or the Borderlands 3 Season Pass, which you can buy as an add-on or as part of the Borderlands 3 Super Deluxe Edition. DLC campaigns will expand the narrative and gameplay of Borderlands 3 even further, and we have plenty more surprises in store for next year. In addition to all the DLC, one goodness, Greg, Fran, and Randy will be talking about the big patch coming later this month, which includes the endgame challenge of Take Down the Maliwan Black Site, Mayhem Mode 4, and some frequently requested quality of life improvements. On the free content front, we'll be revealing more details about the takedown at the Maliwan Black Site next week before it goes live. And the Bloody Harvest event is still ongoing, so you can collect all these spooky rewards before Captain Haught and his undead minions retreat on December 5th. Don't miss a DLC 1 info dropping during the Borderlands Show. So they didn't say anything about Mercenary Day, which I'm wondering if that's going to be shown in this, or if maybe it's going to be the next Borderlands Show, which would be in December, which would make sense. If it's like a winter-based DLC, they could still do it in January, and it would still be winter. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. DLC 1 is going to be December, mid to late December, and then if Mercenary Day is still a thing, which I think that article, which somehow I can't find, where a dev talked about Mercenary Day, will be, since it was so recent, it probably will be something most likely early to mid-January, I would assume. So that's some pretty big news that we're getting DLC 1 guaranteed this year. That's massive. I think Borderlands 3's kind of been in a lull right now for just the overall player base, just because the end game isn't really that diverse. There's not a ton to do. Most of the gear is random drops from anything. And once Maliwan Black Site comes out, especially with having the DLC revealed to us the day before, I think that's going to put a lot of life back into Borderlands, because you're going to have the first raid, Mayhem 4. We're going to have a ton of changes that pretty much the community giving their constructive criticism on is why we're getting so many changes this early on in the game, which is a really good thing. A lot of games don't come out with these big of changes this early, especially stuff that are just changes the community wanted, and possibly things the development team really didn't have plans on doing. So that's really good. Definitely keep constructive criticism going on Reddit, on forums and everything, because it's pretty clear that all the stuff everyone's been complaining about or having issues with is being addressed, and really quickly. So that's pretty much all the news I want to talk about. Subscribe if you want to see more Borderlands 3 content. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you think about all this new information, what you think is going to be happening in DLC 1, and thanks for watching.